The other one that the entire nation is watching and pouring money into is the 21st Congressional District. Chip Roy is the incumbent. He is a cancer survivor. He is a father. He formerly worked for Ted Cruz. He is considered a rock-ribbed Republican. He's a problem solver. He's a guy who, unlike some of the backbenchers, will actually put his name to plans and say, this is what we should do here. This is what we should do here. He's a policy wonk, very well regarded, and he's been out there on the front lines on conservative issues. He was challenged by Wendy Davis. Wendy Davis, a former state senator, she ran for governor. She was once called Abortion Barbie. She has made it her issue to stand for abortions, and when she's done with that, more abortions. She is a liberal icon. Liberals love her and love the thought of getting her into office. Well, normally in past years, an incumbent would be pretty safe. But Chip Roy is not safe because that district is changing. It's the San Antonio, Austin suburbs. It's a lot of folks moving here from California, and there's a lot of money being poured in to try to flip that seat to Wendy Davis away from Chip Roy, who is our guest. Chip, talk a little bit about the national interest that has been paid and the dollars that have poured into that district to push you out of that seat.
Well, Michael, thank you, and thanks for having me on. I can't say enough about how important you are as a voice for conservatism and helping people understand what's actually at stake, not just in this election, but generally. And let me first say that when we wake up Wednesday morning, you and I, we love freedom and we love Texas, and we're gonna wake up fighting for freedom no matter what happens. And I just want to make sure everybody understands that. But tomorrow, and for all the voters out there, we're going to set the stage for what that landscape looks like on Wednesday, and it looks a hell of a lot better if Donald Trump is in the White House, if Chuck Schumer is not leading the Senate, and if I'm back in Washington instead of Wendy Davis. The left knows this, and they're pouring literally tens of millions. I think we're well over $100 million in Texas trying to flip the Texas House, trying to flip these U.S. House seats. We've had $17 million in ads alone run against us in the district I represented, Texas 21, from Austin to San Antonio. Act Blue money, lots of big liberal money from California universities, professors. When you track the data, they're trying to purposely targeting us. You know, Beto and AOC were doing a big thing yesterday. They want to try to flip Texas. They see this as a way to do it because of the growth of Austin in Texas 21. I represent a lot of Rock Ridge conservatives in the Hill Country, as well as in Austin and San Antonio, but those numbers are growing. We feel good about everything we've done. I've got a great political team. You know some of them, and we've been doing great ads. We've knocked 150,000 doors, 100,000 phone calls. I've driven 12,000 miles in the last 30 days across the district, but we're going to need everybody to show up. So if you're in the listening audience for this race, for Wesley Hunt, you just talked about a great American and graduate of West Point, and just a great family story. We need everybody to show up tomorrow. If every Republican shows up, we win. Every Republican shows up, we win. So show up.
What would you say is the number one issue? Is it health care? Is it the economy? What is the number one issue that you think is that voters are going to vote on if there is a specific issue and not party they're voting on?
Well, the number one issue, Democrats want to make health care the number one issue. And obviously it's really important for Americans that we have health care freedom. It's what I run on, the ability to get to a doctor without a bureaucrat, whether it's government or insurance, standing between you and your doctor. Democrats want to play the fear card, right? Scare people. But I'm going to tell you the number one issue, bar none, it's not even close, that I hear throughout the district is wanting our communities to be safe, wanting people who are leading this country who will stand with law enforcement, back the blue, rather than tolerating and appeasing these leftist, Marxist extremists, BLM and Antifa, who are destroying our cities. You know, we've seen what's gone on in Philadelphia over the last week. We see that they're boarding up Washington, D.C. Why would they be doing that? It's not in the event that Biden wins and they think that we're all going to descend on D.C. and burn the streets. It's they're fearful that if Trump wins, that's what will happen. And so that's what I hear most about across the district. I've held 2 Back the Blue rallies, one in Austin, one in San Antonio. I did another event last night with several elected leaders in San Antonio with law enforcement there. And I'm unequivocal in that. My great-great-granddaddy was a Texas Ranger. My grandfather was the chief of police of a small Texas town. I 100% stand with the blue. I'm a former federal prosecutor, and we need these law enforcement guys standing on the line for us. And I have no patience, no tolerance, none, for those that attack them. I read the names of 43 law enforcement officers who lost their lives in the line of duty on the floor of the House of Representatives. And that video was seen, I think, 8.5 million times. And I get people thanking me from all over the country just for reading their names. That's how pathetic our current leadership is. A backbencher Republican reads their names, and people across the country are hungry for that kind of support. I will not walk away from them.
This district, 21st, Lamar Smith, who was the Republican who held it, in 2012, now all of this is since redistricting. 2012, he wins 61%. In 2014, 72%. Democrats don't even field a candidate in 14. In 16, he wins 60%. And then in 18, you win this by, well, I don't see the number. But
2.7%.
Yeah, there you go. 52.7% to 47.3%. What is changing in that district? I got 1 minute in this segment.
Got it. Well, look, what's changing is a lot of things that we're seeing across the state of Texas demographically, but we're seeing it heavily in Austin, Texas. This district was not as represented by Austin. It used to be roughly 40% Hill Country, 35% San Antonio, and 25% Austin. Now it's a third. Austin is crazy in parts of it. There are a lot of God-fearing conservatives there, but there's a lot of radical leftists. So that's eating up part of the district. Bottom line is they're trying to take over the entire Central Texas area from Austin. We're saying no. We're going to stand up for Texas. We're going to stand up for freedom. We're going to stand up for a strong economy. We're going to stand up for border security. We're going to stand with law enforcement. We're going to stand with Israel. We're going to stand up for fracking and oil and not for this radical leftist agenda. Please show up tomorrow. Do your part. We need every vote. If you show up, we win. That's the key.
What's the website?
ChipRoy.com, Central Texas, throughout Texas, Wesley Hunt, all these great candidates. Show up and vote, ladies and gentlemen. And, Michael, thanks for everything you do.
You got it, bud. Good luck. I have very proudly endorsed Chip Roy in this election as I did in 2018. He does a fantastic job. For a first-term congressman, he has had a lot of influence. Smart guy, great background, former prosecutor. He worked with Ted Cruz, and as solid conservative as you will find.